One of this year's top NFL draft picks named his top 5 quarterbacks. We'll talk about whether we agree or disagree with the list. Also, we'll discuss how the Eagles' philosophy with Jalen Hurts has changed the landscape of the NFL. What is going on, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Philly, your number one home for Eagles coverage. Hit the like button if you enjoy the show. Be sure to subscribe. Also, ring that bell down below. That way you don't miss any of the coverage. RB back, bringing you another one from the link. And today, we get into a list put out by Sunday Night Football from NBC from one of the top rookie quarterbacks. He actually named his top 5 quarterbacks. And, well, we're going to talk about whether we agree or disagree with that list. By the way, as you can probably see, Jalen Hurts is atop the list. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about some of these other quarterbacks and really how the Eagles have changed the game when it comes to developing and drafting. But before we jump right into it, shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Pennsylvania only. New customer offer. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's jump right into this, man. So a list was put out last night. Once again, NBC, Sunday Night Football. And this is coming from C.J. Stroud, one of the top overall draft picks in this year's draft, one of the young, promising quarterbacks with the Houston Texans. Looks like he has a bright future. And this was from the Caps Off podcast. So C.J. Stroud went and ranked his top 5 quarterbacks. My question to the people out there in the comments section, let me know down below. Who are your top 3, not top 5, top 3 quarterbacks right now in the NFL? Surprisingly, C.J. Stroud goes with Jalen Hurts as number 1. Shout out to these boys, man. Number 1, Jalen Hurts. Number 2, Pat Mahomes. Number 3, Joe Burrow. Josh Allen at 4, and Justin Fields at number 5. What do we think about that? Very, very interesting. Now, obviously, Stroud is probably buddies with some of these guys. I'm sure him and Jalen Hurts have a good relationship and, you know, in college and all that. But let's be honest, right? A lot of these guys are talented. If you had to ask me right now, do I agree with this list? Not 100%. Not 100%. I think Jalen Hurts, after last year, what he was able to do absolutely puts him in the top 5. And honestly, I think it puts him in the top 3. I would actually put Jalen Hurts in the top 3. I understand the argument of, well, he hasn't done it enough yet, right? Some of these other guys, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, have done it for a couple more years. So, you know, you can't put Jalen Hurts in that tier. I understand that argument. But with what Jalen Hurts was able to do, talent-wise as well, right? The fact that he's improved so much in terms of accuracy, power, and all that as a thrower, as well as what he did on the ground last year, right? 800-plus yards, 13 touchdowns. He's so dynamic. It's so hard to game plan for him. Jalen Hurts is absolutely in the top 3 for me right now. However, I would keep Patrick Mahomes at number 1. I think given the fact he's won a couple Super Bowls, you know, Patrick Mahomes right now obviously doesn't have the track record just yet. Maybe he's building up to it, but Mahomes is probably the greatest skilled quarterback anybody has ever seen with what he's able to do on the football field. Obviously, he's been in a good offense, good coach, good weapons, but Patrick Mahomes is almost an alien. And, you know, he went up against Jalen Hurts. Both had great games. Mahomes ended up winning the Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes, to me, is the best quarterback in the league, and he should be number 1 on this list. However, I honestly think I'm going Jalen Hurts at number 2. The fact that he was able to lead his team to the Super Bowl in just his second full year as a starter. And, you know, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, you know, they're great in different ways, right? Joe Burrow can sling it. Josh Allen is almost, to me, like a hybrid kind of Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow because he's got the arm, he's got the power, but he makes these dynamic plays. I mean, he's almost like a tight end. He's almost like a quarterback in a tight end's body, and he can leap over guys and jump and do all this stuff. But come the big moments, in the big time moments, these guys haven't, got it done yet. Just similar to Jalen Hurts, but Josh Allen, hasn't even been to the Super Bowl. I know there's been a couple controversial games. To me, right now, I think Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow, and Allen are in the top 4. I would have probably Jalen Hurts number 2, given the dynamic skill set. And honestly, I think I'm going Joe Burrow at number 3. So I would keep Josh Allen at number 4. Number 5, I don't know about Justin Fields just yet. I think he's very promising, young, and upcoming, but I don't know if he's done enough yet to be number 5. Now, again, when you look at all these guys' skill sets, I think it speaks to a higher message, right? How do you build around a team nowadays? Because there's a huge conversation going on. Even a guy like Lamar Jackson, who you might consider to be close to this list, you have to stay healthy. And what makes it so hard to game plan for these guys is, they have to be dynamic, but you don't want them to be over the edge where they're running so many times and they can get injured. And that's something that you'll definitely have to develop over time with a guy like Jalen Hurts. Patrick Mahomes is almost, impossible to game plan for, because even, with the improvised throws, or he's throwing it across his body or not even looking at the guy he's throwing at, it almost becomes impossible to game plan for. And Jalen Hurts has that kind of in a little bit of a different way, right? With his ability to make plays on the ground, and, you have everybody accounted for, and he's just rolling out. And if you don't keep a spy and you look at the Eagles' weapons, which you almost can't afford to, and Jalen Hurts can just break one off. So to me, he's in that tier. Same thing with a guy like Josh Allen, who obviously has to be careful, but very hard to game plan for. And, all these guys are talented. I think when you look over the last, say, 5 years, look at how these guys were drafted, right? Most of these guys were not number 1 overall draft picks. Obviously, Joe Burrow was, but, you have to be able to find guys with the right traits. And I think that's so important. It's something we talked about a lot here, even in terms of this year's draft, right? We can look at draft picks. We can look at prospects. We can look at their tape, all that. Some guys come into the league as the best thing since sliced bread, and they end up doing nothing. Some guys come in as a number 15 overall pick or a second or a third round pick, and they end up being the greatest. You know what I mean? So to me, it's about what translates. I think in terms of the top quarterbacks right now, it kind of lays out the formula. You have to find guys who are willing to learn and develop and, can pick up things very quick, and just those kinds of traits. Like Jalen Hurts, obviously nobody expected him to develop this quick. Nobody expected him, after a couple years to now be making $50+ million per year and have a Super Bowl appearance on his resume. But why? It's because he's willing to learn, develop, has that character. I think that's important, right? Joe Burrow kind of has that swagger to lead a franchise. Josh Allen, almost the same way. Pat Mahomes, I mean, you can put trust in these guys, right? Pat Mahomes sat out for an entire year and learned, right? He learned. And I think that's very, very important. I also think it's really funny when you look at this article that was put out from PFF. They ranked all the quarterback starters heading into this year. Jalen Hurts still not getting enough credit as he should. They had Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and then they had Justin Herbert, number 4. Obviously, great talent, but I don't know if I would put him up with the other guys yet. Aaron Rodgers, Lamar, and they had Jalen Hurts at number 7. Number 7. It's crazy, man. They need to give this guy some more respect. I mean, he's going to prove it again. I mean, he's going to do it again. I would be very surprised if he just fell off a cliff or if that was just a one-year wonder. You could just see it with his game, right? Like, the amount of growth, the substantial growth from one year to the next is insane, and I expect him to only get better. He's still very, very young. He's reportedly already making another jump in this offseason. Why? Because he wants it. He's willing to get better, and I think it's really an underrated characteristic that kind of gets passed over sometimes, right? We look at the best talent on tape and on field. Yeah, that's great, but they have to be dogs, man. So looking at these top 5 quarterbacks, I think all these guys could shuffle around this year. Some people have Aaron Rodgers up there at number 5. Number 4 will be interesting to see how he plays out with the Jets. It'll be interesting to see if Tua can get himself back on track this year. A lot of other guys who could be in this mix, but it feels very comforting to have Jalen Hurts here. And I like the fact that the Eagles already have a lot of their offensive weapons under contract. It's not like every single player is going to be a free agent this year. And then, what do you do, right? Like Pat Mahomes had to lose a couple weapons. He's great enough. The system is great enough as well with the coach to bring other guys in. But, Jalen Hurts can build some camaraderie with his guys, with his weapons who will at least be here for a couple years in the A.J. Browns, the Devontae Smiths, Dallas Goedert, and guys like that. So I feel very comfortable with Jalen Hurts. Let me know what you think, though. Do you agree with this list? Where would you have Jalen Hurts on your list? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.